Can I borrow some sugar? Can I really borrow some sugar? You know, that was the biggest thing when I grew up. I was born in 75, so I grew up in that era where community was so important. We heard that a lot from the neighbors. Can I borrow some sugar? Can I borrow some bread? Can I borrow some flour? We've heard that a lot, and we were community. You got $5 for gas. I'll give it back to you when I get my paycheck, or stuff of that nature. We had community. You needed food. You needed canned goods. Even to the point of when I was growing up, and especially my years I can remember around the 80s, every time you go and visit someone, you would leave there with maybe a canned good or something of that nature, and we would just exchange. And that's what community was about. And I feel like we have to get back to that community, especially living in this Trump world. Especially that we've seen things that are happening like crazy. We are seeing Americans are fretful. We're seeing cuts that are occurring. We're seeing all those things that are happening, and those are the things that we have to really be very mindful. And it's not cliche. I don't want people to think that, hey, this is just cliche. Oh, here he is trying to scare us. But no. America, we've been here before. In the 29, during the stock market, they had lines of soup, and where people were hand out. They had victory guards. That's where the word came from, victory guards, because one neighbor had gardens and the other neighbors didn't. So they would give food, and there was warnings, and people kept saying, plant your food, plant your food. So there was warning before destruction. You don't believe me? Listen, the economy is tanking. Here's an article. It says the U.S. economy has suddenly been thrown into reverse as key GDP indicators flash stunning negative forecast. All right, so let's go into this particular article right here, and we'll talk about it in a second. Let's talk about this article right here. It goes on to say, it says the Atlanta Fed GDP tracker now indicates that the economy is headed for a 1.5 contraction in the first quarter. That's negative, y'all. After showing 2.3 growth just days earlier. That was positive. That also marks a sharp reversal from the fourth quarter when GDP expanded by 2.3%. Several economic indicators have been raising alarms as consumers and businesses brace for Trump's tariff and federal job cuts. Okay? So this is not Mark just talking right here. This is economists and the GDP tracker. They are talking and they're saying, listen, hey, this is going to be bad. As a matter of fact, the former Social Security administrator, Mark O'Malley, basically said, he said, Social Security has never missed a benefit payment since the program first began, sending individuals monthly benefits more than 8 decades ago. Never missed a payment, ladies and gentlemen. They have never missed a payment. But the recent actions at the U.S. Social Security administration by Elon Musk, so-called Doge, are putting monthly benefit checks for more than 72.5 million Americans at risk. Ultimately, you're going to see the system collapse and an interruption of benefits. I believe you will see that within the next 30 to 90 days. Ahead of any interruption in benefits, people should start saving now. Okay? I know a lot of the national media is not talking about this. And I want to make sure that that at least the people that I'm talking to, we are very prepared so we will know what we need to do in case there is famine, in case there is situations where there is no food, or, a lot of people would say, oh, I could just go to the grocery store. What happens if supply chain hits? What happens if you don't have the money? We see in all these federal workers. I have been a vocal champion in trying to tell people to prepare for your survival. And I have been sharing this amongst friends. I have been talking to amongst friends. Please start protecting and saving your pennies. Please start protecting and saving your key things that you need. If you're going to go out here, I know y'all just got your tax income, save the money, save it. Invest into maybe gold, silver, but save your money. Put it under bed. Do what you got to do. Save your money. And most importantly, let's go over some key things that I feel that are very important to survival. Water, food, and shelter. You also need a communication device, and you also need some type of signaling device just in case in distress. Water is essential. You need water. You need food. So let's talk about the food part of this, okay? Every time there is like a storm or whatever, and wherever you are in America, every time there's a storm, you always see people going for the perishable items, the bread. The only non-perishable item they're going with is toilet tissue. But other than that, they're going for the perishable items, the luncheon meat, the meat, and all those different things. Those are perishable. Over a period of time, they're not going to last, all right? But you very rarely see people going for the rice, the beans, the canned goods. Those are non-perishable items that's in the can. Well, the cans can last for years and years. Why aren't we doing this? I walk in the grocery store and I see the canned good aisle. It is packed. And that is something that you guys should really consider doing in the situation where we're in right now. Consider buying canned goods. Consider stocking up on canned goods. And you can pretty much find anything today in a canned good that has been preserved for years and years and years on come. I know a lot of people, y'all don't like Spam. I get it. I got it. Y'all don't like Spam, but Spam saved a lot of people's lives during WW2. And over there, and this is why the Hawaiians love Spam. They have saved people that time. And I know, listen, this is not about what your palate can take. This is about survival. All right. Also, I want to make sure that we kind of go down this list. If you're building your kit, build some things. Always have water, 1 gallon per person for several days for drinking water. Food, we talked about this. At least have several supply of non-perishable food, such as your canned goods, such as your rice, such as your beans, your dry goods. Those are non-perishable things that you can do. Put in the crock pot. Soups go a long ways. Beans go a long ways. Battery powered hand crank radio for the National Weather Service. Flashlight, first aid kit. I cannot stress to you how important it is to have a first aid kit. All your medicines and all those different things, band-aids, bandages, those things are needed. Extra batteries, a whistle for signal. You may laugh and say, oh my God, you're talking about a whistle. He's talking about a whistle. But guess what? During disasters, people who had whistles, you heard it. You can't yell, but you can definitely blow, especially if you're breathing. All right. A dust mask help filters out chemicals and stuff of that nature. Plastic sheathing for scissors or duct tape for you to be able to have shelter in place. And I know most of this stuff is going to be very, you probably would say, oh, I don't need this, whatever. Do what you do. All right. I'm just giving you some of this basis. Towelettes, garbage bags and plastic bags, towelettes, moist towelettes, wipes, that helps. Even in the event, wipes help you clean your body off. Even if you can't go and shower, you can wipe your face. And then let me just say this. I need y'all to shower. Okay. I need y'all to get your ass in that shower. All right. If y'all got running water, don't sit up here and be like, I'm trying to conserve my water unless you are camping or on an RV or they're telling you to boil your water and stuff. But I need y'all to shower if y'all got running water. All right. Because showering helps kill diseases. All right. A wrench or pliers, manual can opener. You may think that manual can opener is funny. Listen, y'all, let me tell y'all something. You got a can and you trying to get that can open to feed your family and you don't have a can opener, you need something like that. I always say, go and get you a Swiss Army knife. All right. They're relatively cheap and selling that, I think, several places for like $5. All right. Local maps. Y'all please need to learn how to read a local map. please. I grew up on local maps. We didn't have GPSs and stuff. I grew up on local maps. Please learn how to read it. And you probably would say, well, why is that so important? Okay, let's just say, for example, if a road has been messed up and you don't have cell phone service, how are you going to get to your destination? You need to always, ladies and gentlemen, you need to always travel with a map of the United States. If you're traveling, you're in your car, you need to know what areas that you can go to so you can get there. All right. Also cell phone with chargers and backup batteries. And I also will add another caveat to this. Not only just cell phone, I would say get two-way radio. Two-way radios just in case there's an attack. I mean, I know a lot of times people are watching this and they're like, oh my God, this is like the end of the world. This is like the third world. No, I'm basically telling you, we lived through times where cell phone service was down. I remember 9/11. 9/11, we had no cell phone service. We had none. People couldn't get in touch with folks and this and that. You may be stranded somewhere. Walkie-talkies are just good to have, and they're relatively cheap. $20. They're relatively cheap. All right, guys, I'm just trying to prepare us. And I know I may joke a lot, but I mean, this is all serious. We're going to go through some tough times. The economist is saying it. We're going to go through a recession, and it may be a depression. I don't know. All I can tell you, those that are more prepared are going to be the ones who survive. So take this information as you will. I hope this helps you. I hope this does. And let's get back to community. Can I borrow some sugar? Let's get back to community. Let's get back to my brother's keeper. Each one reach one. Let's get back to checking on our neighbors. Let's get back to talking. I don't care. I mean, I do care, even stuff that happened in the federal government, because I'm giving you this information. But you're not going to feel that until much later. But what you will feel if supply chains are cut in your local areas and you have no means to get food, you have no transportation. What are you going to do if the gas goes down? What are you going to do if you can't go to the gas station to get gas? What are you going to do? Do you have a means of transportation to get around? What are you going to do? And I think you guys should start thinking about that. And I know you guys are probably like, oh my God, Mark, you're stressing me. I'm not trying to stress you. I'm just trying to prepare you. And you may not have all the answers. I don't either. But what I'm saying is, if you just take at least 10 to 20% of the stuff that I have told you, you will be more prepared than the person who don't take heed to those things. Just remember, in order to survival, you need water, shelter, food. You need those things. You cannot live without those three things. All right. Have a good day.